Well, it really was. It really was 1 second. So hopefully you guys saw that. But we are here today, man. Thank you guys for tuning in for another episode of the Brief Let's Talk About It podcast. You guys already know who it is. This is Tony. I am the host of this podcast. And I just want to say before we get started, man, thank you guys for always tuning in. Thank you guys for your support. But most importantly, thank you guys for allow me to keep bringing these amazing stories to you guys. And I have an amazing guest with you guys. This guy's my brother. He's a friend, and I've been on his show several times. He has been in the music industry for a very long time and has a name. He's here to come and share his story with us. So before I bring him up here, I would like to say that if this is your first time tuning in, do me a favor, head on over to that YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you'll be notified every time that we drop a new episode. Now, we about to get raw. There's going to be language. So if you have your kids, take them in the other room, okay? And before I bring them up here, this is for educational purposes only. And if you have any questions or comments, please put them in the comment section. Now, if you guys are not familiar with this podcast, it's the Unwrapped podcast on YouTube. And he does a lot of other things as well. Now, I'm not going to give away too much, but if you guys can help me welcome the man, the myth, the legend, my brother, the Heat Detector. Heat, what's going on?
What's happening, man? He said you called me the myth and the legend. All right.
Well, because you got a name in the music industry, brother. You know what I'm saying?
Slightly, a little something slight.
Yeah, you got a little something up in there, man. And you've done so much in the music industry. You and I have talked and about some of the cats that and I'm just like, damn, I used to watch these cats back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And you still out here doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I have no choice.
It's in your blood, though.
Huh?
It's in your blood.
Yeah, I mean, I was telling this young kid last night, as a matter of fact, because we were talking about growth and journeys, and we're talking about gifts that are bestowed upon us, by God or the universe or higher power or whatever it is that anyone is listening. And when these things are put on us, man, that's the mission. That's the mission. That is, I'm still here for a reason. You're still here for a reason. Yeah. I'm an old dude in this, and I feel the pressure constantly to do something, and I know in my heart that this higher power is not done with me. It's not done with me. I got so much more to do, so many more people to talk to touch, to whatever, if that makes any sense. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it definitely makes sense. Now, before we get started, though, man, tell people who you are, where you're from, and about the work that you're doing right
now. I'm George, aka Heat Detector, Heat, many monikers. You can call me Heat, or Heat Detector. I have a podcast. By the way, I'm smoking a cigar, not a blunt, just in case. I don't smoke or drink. I don't hold any grudges against anybody that does. I don't. I smoke cigars though. Anyways, I have a podcast channel that we do a lot of different shows. I have a nice little team that I've assembled. We do a lot of different shows. The main show is called Unwrap the Podcast, and I interview famous, semi-famous, and people on their journey up within hip hop and hip hop culture, from MCs, breakdancers, DJs, graffiti artists, anything that has to do with hip hop culture, because that's like my first love. That's what saved my life, really. Also, we have other podcasts that delve into different things, but there's two other podcasts on there that really mean a lot to me. One is called The Check-In, and the other one is called The Trust Tree. And The Check-In is extremely special to me because it's a men's mental health show. And Tony, you've been on it before, and if I could give a quick backstory on that, just how it came about, because I had no idea I'd be on this journey. I had no idea that I'd be doing a men's mental health show, and it was initially, when I started the podcast channel, it was initially going to be, it was called Sunday Sit Downs with the OGs. So it was every Sunday at 8:30, and it was me thinking that I could bridge the gap between young hip hop artists and elder statesmen, because they're always like, "Oh, you're an old head. You're angry and mad because we're doing different things in music." So my thought was, let me bridge the gap and show that we're doing all the same thing. And I had been doing the show for maybe a month or two, and really nobody was watching it. And I wasn't frustrated about that. I was just having like a bad day one Sunday, and I mean, I'm talking about one of those days where you walking around and you're feeling like anybody could get it. Like somebody said the wrong thing to me, please, today, because today I feel like punching somebody in the fucking mouth. Today I feel like slapping the shit out of somebody. Today I I don't. But see, the thing is I didn't know what was going on with me. I didn't know why I was feeling that way, but I was feeling an extreme amount of anger, frustration, and stress. And before the show, I used to do, like a behind the scenes before the show. So we would talk about things to prepare for the show, even though nobody was watching. It's funny. But the guys that were doing it remotely with me were like, "Yo, you seem a little off. What's going on?" I'm like, "I don't want to talk about it. Man, fuck this. I don't want to do the show. Fuck this show. Fuck all this shit and everything." And we began to talk. We had a half an hour before the show. I did this, every show. And as I was doing this, we got deep into this conversation, and they're like, "Oh, it's time to do the show. It's time to do the show." And I'm like, "I don't want to do it." And they're like, "Well, we're already here. Just do it. Just hit the button." So I hit the button, and we're talking about hip hop and everything. And before I knew it, the conversation had switched over into how I was doing and how I was feeling. And this is two other men, and we got really deep in the conversation. Now, mind you, nobody ever watched this show before, and I look up and there's a ton of people watching and commenting. And the show was generally 30 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes long. That night, it was 3 hours long. I woke up the next morning and I said, this cannot be Sunday Sit Down anymore. This has to be something different. And I thought of the check-in, because I felt like that's what I did. I checked in with some people and I talked about things. And so yeah, as soon as I put my foot on the ground that morning, I said, it's the check-in. And I'm going to focus on men's mental health. And I'm going to focus on my mental health. And I'm going to focus on not only getting the tools for myself, but helping men understand how to get the tools, how to use these tools to be to get in a better space, and understanding triggers and understanding things that were going on with them. Because that day, all of this happened. I had no idea what was going on with me. I just felt like anybody could get it.
Right.
And you know what I mean? And if I feel like that sometimes, or felt like that, I mean, I couldn't even imagine what other men walking around, especially men of color and men of, melanated skin, you don't necessarily have to be black to have melanated skin, but the pressures and the stresses of everyday life, those kinds of things that we have been taught to ignore in life, to suppress, which cause stress and anguish and, a lot of mental health problems. And I wanted to break free from all that. And so that's what I've been doing. And that's been my journey now for like the last 2 years. And it's been beautifully crazy.
Yes.
So that's kind of in a nutshell.
Yeah, no, dude. That, like, you and I've talked. We've talked on a different level, right? And so I want to get into your journey, because we all have a background, and you got a crazy ass background. I mean, you've been, how long? Well, let me ask the question: how long have you been in the music industry?
I started making music when I was 16. I'm 58. That's funny. I just was told that I was 58, because in my mind I thought I was 56. No, I'll be 58. I'm sorry. In my mind I thought I was 56, and I'm actually 57. Like literally, it had to be broken down to me in mathematical terms, and I was like, wait a minute, I'm 57. Like I don't feel 57. I don't.
Right.
I was telling someone last night, I don't act like a child or anything like that, but I don't feel like I'm getting ready to turn 58. I feel more like I'm getting ready to turn fucking 36 or 37. I feel
Right, right.
youthful and vibrant. I feel like we were talking earlier before the show. I I, I feel like, God is not done with me. I got so much more to do.
Yeah. Yeah, and I would tell you, man, I reflected back on that conversation, and I was just so thankful that I was able to talk with you, and we were able to converse because your words really really helped, right?
Thank you.
And as men, we need places where we can talk and feel safe to be able to talk with other people because I'd be lying if I say that every day has been one of those days where I'm up and ready to rock and roll. No, I have days where I am beat up. I have days where I'm tired. I have days where I doubt myself and I want to give up and things like that. Because I often feel as if I don't have anybody to talk to or don't nobody care about what I'm going through.
Right.
And you reminded me earlier when we talked, and you always remind me, what I'm saying? I think that's, we do a lot of that with each other. You reminded me like, nah, man, you're not alone in this. Right.
Right.
We go through these things, but that encouragement where you say, don't give up. And I have a few other people like that and things like that, but I often feel that people have ulterior motives when they say it,
Mhm.
things like that. And I don't like to feel that way, but I have to be honest, sometimes it does.
Oh yeah.
Um, Now take us back to your journey, man, because you was a wildcat too. You know what I'm saying? And
Wild is a complete understatement. That's a complete understatement.
so yeah,
I'm generally speaking, I'm a wild individual, period. Like when I say wild, I don't, nowadays, I mean, I talk and I speak very bluntly. I don't beat around the bush. I'm spontaneous. I love doing things. I love fucking with people. I love fucking with people in the good way, and I love fucking with people in the bad way sometimes. But my heart is always in the right place. You know what I
right,
mean? Even when I was doing janky things, my heart had, like, I was one of those persons that, like, when I was doing it, I didn't have any remorse whatsoever.
right.
But the moment I sat down and thought about it, man, I was dying inside for the things that I've done, that I had done or whatever that case may be. But yeah, man, pretty wild. You know, a lot of the upbringing had a lot to do with that, and that's like going back now when I think about it and how much it shaped and formed who I am as a person today. Man, there's a lot of beautiful, great things inside of that tragedy that I've
Mhm.
learned about it. You know what I mean? About me being me and who I am as a person.
See that I like that. I definitely like that. Um, but you've been through it though, man. You know what I'm saying? Like we've talked the mental health struggles, the anger, the violence, the drinking, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The
Oh, the
fight,
drink.
you know, all of those different things. Let's dive into some of your moments, some of the craziest moments, because Christina may be watching us today, so you better be on your P's and Q's,
Nah,
okay?
she knows. I mean, listen, one thing about me, even in all my fuckery, it's never been something that I like tried to hide or anything.
Right,
If somebody would have, even back then, if somebody would have just sat down and talked to me, I would have told them everything. I
right.
didn't hide. And I still don't hide anything. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So like shout out to Christinia, but I've had throughout the years, man, a multitude of conversations with that woman, and she's a beautiful woman. I love her passion and her desire to help people, and just everything about her spirit and everything. And that took a long time.
Right,
That was a lot of that was a you know I had a lot of resentment, not just towards her, but just people in general. Just a lot of things that I had to learn that stemmed from my mother and my upbringing.
hmm,
But it made me not trust people when, like, I tell people all the time, like, my outside didn't match my inner.
right.
You know, my inner was humble, loving, caring, kind, all of these things, but my outside, because of all the things that I've been through, was a tough shell. You know what I'm saying? I say it to people all the time, and there's not much a motherfucker can say to me, man. I've been shot, stabbed, sliced, diced, eyes scratched out. You name it.
Yeah.
It's happened to me personally, or I've seen it happen. And I ain't gonna go too much deeper into other things, but I've never killed anybody. You know what I mean? But I've had my fair share of, you know, giving people some serious bodily harm, and I'm not proud of any of those things. But shit, I wouldn't be here today if those things didn't happen. It's the only way that I can look at them.
Right.
You know, I was privy to a lot of violence growing up, and so to me, violence was the only answer. I didn't know of any other answer to anything. Oh, you don't like it? Smack the shit out you.
Right.
You not going? Well, get your ass over here.
Right.
Whatever the case may be. But the violence to me was the only answer, because that's all I ever seen was the answer to any question. Violence. And my formidable years were with a pimp. My mom was with a pimp. My brother's father was a pimp. When people talk about pimps and hoes and glorified, because I even glorified it for a long time, because that was the only man that I ever looked up to, the only man that I had ever seen as any structure. My mom was what's called the bottom bitch, so she stayed home. She didn't do anything. She was the eye candy. We were the kid. He was the father. He was the pimp. But we had to walk, talk, and act a certain way every single day, or we got the shit smacked out of us for not being perfect. But within that structure, there was the man was a savage. I watched him pistol whip people within inches of their life. I've seen him, watched him beat my mother the entire time she was with him. Not to mention, all of the things that I was seeing with that comes with him being a pimp. He had, like, I think at one point, like 12 prostitutes that he was, or women of the night, whatever you want to call them, that he was dealing with. But that was my formidable years, from like birth until like 6 or 7.
Okay.
That kind of shaped my mind. Not kind of, it shaped my mind, how I perceive things, especially within my teenage years, and how I perceived things, how I saw things, and how I dealt with them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And it's funny, man, because a lot of people, when we talk about the things that we had to do in order to survive in this world, a lot of people frown upon it. Not get it. They may not even understand what it's like to have to go out here and, sell drugs or rob people, or, jack cars, or, pimping on a woman.
Listen,
right?
Tony, listen, on some real shit. So this is something that I had to come to terms with some years ago. I used to say my mom left. His name was Ronnie, rest in peace. He's long gone now. He's transitioned. But I used to say she left him. My mom escaped him.
Yeah.
She escaped him. And our life went from the structure that we did have, even though there was all this violence and chaos, the house had structure.
Mm-hmm.
We went from structure to absolute chaos, because my mother didn't have any tools. My mother had me when she was 16, so she was with this man when she was 16 or younger.
Yeah.
I have an older sister, and then my younger brother, he passed away. He was 2 years younger than me. So, which is another thing, because this was a grown ass man, and this was my mom. So we ain't gonna go into that, but these are things that I'm just really realizing within the last few years. But she escaped that. She didn't leave. She escaped. I remember us escaping, but I used to say she left. But our home went from that to utter chaos, absolute chaos, because it might have been chaos over there, but there was protection. At least there was a bit of stability. There were certain things over there, but now it just went crazy. My mother started drinking and doing drugs, became a drug addict, alcoholic. We were house to house home. My brother and I were in a foster home at one point. It was she almost lost us to the state. It was a lot. It was a lot. And the more I think about it nowadays, when I'm on my journey of healing myself, healing that inner child, man, it's a lot, you know. And when I quit drinking, quitting drinking was the easiest thing I've ever done. And that people find that crazy and weird, and they're like, everybody's always saying, "Oh, well, how strong you are for that," and blah 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 blah. Man, I don't give a fuck about drinking. I didn't realize what drinking was doing to me. So quitting to me was easy as hell. And when I'm telling you, I drank to black out. I didn't drink to be social, none of that. I drank to black out. But what I didn't know, all of the stuff that I was stuffing, all the stuff that I was self-medicating. So when I quit drinking over 2 years ago, about a week or so into it, I'm good. I'm having the time of my life. I'm looking at things and I'm like, holy crap. I'm freaking what? It's a whole new world. But what was brewing right up under the lid of all of that was all of this stuff. And when it came to a head, the lid blew off. And now I'm forced to live, deal, and do my best to try to understand what all these things are that are coming, that are surfacing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Anger, abuse, trust issues, insecurities, all these things. And that led me down a fucking rabbit hole I would never want anybody to go down. That voice was soft in the beginning. Like, you know what? You should probably not be here. You'd be better off gone. To fighting that off, till you got stronger and stronger and stronger. And before I knew it, within an hours of this, that voice became the most powerful thing in my head, saying, "Hey, man, kill yourself, because there ain't shit else."
Yeah.
And fighting that voice, once it came from a whisper to a yell, to the only thing that I could understand, was the scariest shit I've ever been through in my entire life. And I've been in some very sticky and scary situations, but nothing like that. Nothing. Because it was uncontrollable. It was absolutely uncontrollable. It was the most frightening thing that I ever experienced in my life, because I didn't want to die. Clearly, I'm here.
Right.
But that voice, it sounded like it was coming from God himself. And it sounded like it was the only thing for me to do.
Okay.
And
see, that makes sense.
Huh?
I said that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
And I think you and I have talked about it. We haven't. I think, I may have been talking about it with someone else as well. But I told him, I said, look, man, it's easy to listen to God when you've listened to everything else that didn't work.
Right.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Because in the beginning, when you're out there doing wrong and things like that, it's survival of the fittest. I ain't trying to hear you right now. Or you dig what I'm saying? I ain't trying to hear you right now, because you ain't got no place in what I'm about to do.
Right.
You ain't got no place in what I'm about to do. And in those moments, people don't understand the type of individual that you become, or the type of individual that you have to be in order to become the good man that you are today. Now, and I say that to say this, because just because you became a good man, we still have to go through and rectify the things, the damage that we've done to people that we care about.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of accountability that comes along with that, right? There's a lot of saying, "Damn, I'm sorry." There's a lot of forgiveness for yourself for the things that you didn't know, and there comes a lot of growth that comes along with that as well, right? Because it's a different set of wisdom that comes along with that when you want to actually change to be a good person. And I talk about both men and women. We both know I've worked with primarily men and things like that, and I love seeing men heal But I also love seeing the women out there find the support, connection, and the resources that they need in order to heal, because our communities actually need it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And we're not perfect. It takes people who have it takes people who have been drugged through the mud to go back and grab those who are in the mud.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? To be able to walk with them, because we understand what it took for us to get to where we are, right? And we don't take nothing away from nobody. If anything, we give everybody what what we feel that they need in order to have that strength. But we're the first ones to be on the front lines with you without judgment,
Right.
and because we don't want nobody to have to go through the crazy bullshit that we've had to go through.
Mm-hmm.
That's the crazy part about it. Now, let's talk about 16 years old. You out here giving the community hell, and things like that. And then you find hip hop, right? What influenced you to go and get into hip hop?
Man, seeing breakdancing and graffiti. I've done every aspect of hip hop. Listen to a crazy story. So one of my first ventures into really like getting into the musical side of hip hop, because had already done the graffiti writing, and I was a break dancer. I had a little breakdancing crew. Um, I spent an entire summer like mowing lawns, because when we didn't have any money, so I wanted turntables bad and a mixer bad and records. I wanted to learn how to DJ so bad. I saw Malcolm McLaren's Buffalo Gals video back in the day on MTV. I don't even know what house, somebody's house I was in, and I saw what they were doing on those turntables with the records, and it just, I knew about it, but I had never seen it with my eyes. I spent a whole summer mowing lawns, saving my money, secretly saving my money, because if my mom would have known I had a shoot have taken it, and bought drugs and shit. But I went to a pawn shop and bought 2 raggedy ass turntables and a mixer. Man, I was so excited. I got those things back to the house. I spent a couple of dollars that I had left from that, and went to this record store. I had never walked in there. I was too scared to go in there. And I went in there, and the guy was in there, and he had turntables, and he was scratching and doing stuff. And I bought like 4 records. Oh no, I bought like 3. I think he gave me one, because I was just in there in awe. And I couldn't wait to get home. Got home, put on my little turntables, and learned how to DJ. And I was DJing and doing stuff. I started doing like high school parties and house parties and stuff like that. A couple of weddings. But my mother came in my room one night, drunk as hell, and was like, "I need to get that fucking N-word music out of my house," and destroyed everything that I had. Destroyed it all, threw it all out. We lived on this like 3rd floor of this building. She threw stuff out the window, the turntables, smashed it. She tore everything up. And I remember, like, I was devastated. I was broken. And something clicked in me that said I would never, ever let anybody, if I ever get music equipment again or anything, I'm never going to let anybody stop me, ever. And I think that is what really like pushed me to do music. And then besides that, like the only real transition from a DJ is to produce music and make music, and I made that transition at 16.
No,
because I had gotten the turntables and stuff earlier than that, so actually making music, the transition at about 16.
Okay.
From DJing and everything, because I'd already quit breakdancing. I didn't the breakdancing, the graffiti writing, and all of that. I hadn't gotten into MCing yet, but the breakdancing and the graffiti writing, I was past that. I wanted to do the DJing thing, and then once I did the DJing thing, I wanted to do the actual music. And then once I started doing the music, that's when I got really interested in rapping and being an MC.
Okay. And who are some of the people that influenced you, right? Because I've talked to a few people, and they're like, this person this and this person that, this person this, right? And but you've been in the hip hop industry, you've been in the culture for so long. There had to, what was your biggest influence? Who was your biggest influence? Because you come from a long lineage of old school guys that started in the
Mhm.
hip hop game. You know what I'm saying? And we've had these conversations and things like that. Tell people about the people that you've met, man. That what I'm saying, that you still rock with today.
Um, Daddy-O from Stetsasonic, real cool dude. I had the pleasure, rest in peace, DMX. That guy was about the realest of real that you could imagine. Like, you would think that that's an act or whatever, all that jumping around and barking like a dog and everything else, and just
Hmm.
being so energetic and so much uh life in him or whatever. I don't know how people looked at it, but that guy was a ball. When I say a ball of energy, like meeting him, like he pulled up and he got out of the truck and he was just like rah, rah, and he was barking and jumping around and there wasn't anybody there. There was no cameras there or anything. And it was just like, oh shit, this motherfucker is for real. Like this is this is not Fugazi. This is not him shooting a music video. This dude is like
Right.
this for real. But he was a real cool person and a real understanding person. Like, yeah, he was dope. Rakim from Eric B. and Rakim,
Ooh,
Snoop Dogg. I worked with Snoop Dogg twice early in his career. Um, man, I can't think really off the top of my head. Like this, there's been so many people that I've been around, that I've done things with, and I don't really even keep track of any of that stuff. You know, not I don't really get asked that question that much, and it may sound like I'm to some people like I'm being evasive, but I'm really not. Um, Let me see. Shit. I've been in Chicago for like the last 19 years. There's really not anybody in this city that I haven't met or worked with as far as like legends in this city.
mhm.
Um, there's like J.O. Felony in Cali. That's a long time ago. That he's out of San Diego. If you know like gangster rap, you know who J.O. Felony is. Brother Lynch Hung out of
Yeah, yeah.
Sacramento. Uh, Not Sivo, but I know people who know Sivo. The Militia. Let's see. RBL Posse.
Ooh,
We did some work with E40's people. Man, when I tell you the list is long, man, it is long. Like, uh, man, damn. If I blurt out stuff, it's because I'm remembering. So
yeah,
you know,
yeah. No worries, man. Because you brought up some names. Brother Lynch Hung, right? You know what I'm saying? I remember back in the
yeah, I
day
know
when I was
him.
gang banging. That he was one of the dudes. I remember before he got arrested. Um, and I don't know who did it. I think it was either him or X Rated. And
X-Rated got arrested. X-Rated just got out.
okay, X Rated was one. I thought it was Brother Lynch too.
Nah,
I
it was
thought Brother Lynch
X-Rated.
was up for
X-Rated.
murder, right?
Yeah, well, he had made an album. Everybody knew about that shit. It's because
Yeah, yeah.
I was in Cali at the time. I was going back and forth from Los Angeles to Oakland and Stockton and Sacramento. They're all like super close together. And
Mhm.
he he put an album out that had a gun on it, and he had a song in there where he talked about a home invasion, and he actually the home invasion was a true story. He said the whole thing and the gun used in it and
Yeah,
everything was on the album cover. So he used all of that against him to convict him. But he's out now.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I saw that. I saw some interviews and stuff like that. Like he don't really talk too much about it and things like that. As a matter of fact,
Yeah,
I saw
I'm working on getting him on my show because there's some people that I have never had the opportunity to actually meet him, but I know some people that know him, and so I've been reaching out to them to reach out to him to get him on my podcast.
I think
Yeah,
that'd be awesome. And
yeah.
Snoop Dogg, right? You know what I'm saying? I think Snoop Dogg would be able to come on your show too.
Nah,
Um,
he's at a point like maybe if my show like 10 years ago or something, he would have been more accessible, but he's not that accessible now.
mm, yeah,
There's,
and I can see
when some people get to a certain level, they become a lot. It becomes more and more difficult to have access to them, and Snoop is one of them.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely understand that. I would think like with your influence and things like that, he may be like, I know him. You know what I'm saying? Let me go over here talking to my boy,
man,
man.
listen, you get it. This game, first of all, this game has no love for anybody. So
Understood. Understood.
I could have all the influence in the world. That still don't mean a motherfucker would want to talk to me. You know what I
That's
mean?
true.
Like,
That's true.
I get no's all the time. I get no's from people that I know personally.
Damn.
I'm calling them up on my phone to their phone, and they're like, "Nah, bro." You know
Damn,
what I'm
man.
saying?
I
It's
mean,
crazy.
I get it though. You know what I'm saying? I mean, at least I try to. Um, at least I try to a certain extent. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's for me, it's just like wow, like you talking to someone who helped pave the way for a lot of these cats and things like that. But I get it though, I do. And I guess it's the same thing for me because I've seen people that I've been with for a long time, and I've seen them go and do some amazing stuff in this world. I don't take
Right.
nothing away from it. As a matter of fact, I'm really freaking proud of them, and it's just like wow. But I have had the good fortune of them coming back and saying, "Hey, I want to be on your show,"
Mm-hmm.
and we made it happen. I do get, I sometimes I get people that just ghost me and things like that.
Right.
I'm like, hey, at least just tell me that you don't want to be up here. You ain't got to ghost me, right?
Right. Well, that
But it's all
happens.
good though,
That's
I don't
part of
mind.
it.
Yeah, it's definitely part of it. Let's
And
let's
listen,
talk about.
I've learned to understand that I'm low key. I'm an acquired taste. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Yeah,
So
yeah, most definitely.
I have always kind of lived my life like yes or no, or I don't have too much gray areas. I don't have any gray areas. It's
Right.
I either fuck with you or I don't fuck with you, and if I don't fuck with you, you'll know. But I don't judge people until I know them, until they sit down and talk to me, and because I get judged all the time. I get judged
Right.
24/7.
Right.
I just had somebody um, look at my profile because they were considering being on my show, and just based off of a picture of me,
Yeah.
they said, "Well, I don't know. It makes me nervous. You might be up to something or whatever." That's my life story. That was me growing up as a kid. My mom used to smack me in the head and tell me to stop looking at people like that. You know what I mean? So people
Yeah.
basing their judgment, on me and how I look and perceive me to be a certain way. But if they've ever taken the time to sit down and talk to me, they not only understand the person that I am, but may end up liking me. But I don't judge people by a look or I judge people by what they do, their actions, and how they treat me or treat the people around them. You know.
I'm right there with you. Like because I think the thing is that we've gotten so used to people judging us and what I'm saying, reading the book by the cover, but never really understanding the pages that's in between that made us who we are, right? That a lot of people just they don't know how to take us,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because in a lot of ways I can relate to. I would say some stuff to you and not even mean nothing by it, but you may get offended by it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, what you get offended for,
Well,
right? Like, but I
I don't
will.
think people. I don't think people are accustomed to hearing the truth.
This is probably true. This is
I like if
probably
somebody
true.
asked me if I like something, like I had somebody. I went to their house and they invited me. There was a birthday party and they had cooked all this food and everything, and they asked me did I want to eat, and I sure, I ate.
Hmm.
I put the plate and I sat down. I took like 2 bites and I was like, man, fuck this. I sat that plate down and they were like, what's the matter? You don't like it? I was like, hell no. Who you made this? And they're like, you don't have to say it like that. I'm like, well, you asked me. I'm telling you the truth. I don't like it. Shit's nasty. Like, I don't know what, you know what I mean? Maybe I shouldn't have said it like that, but yeah. But I mean, you asked me. Yeah. No, I didn't. You see me eating it? No, I'm not eating it. It's
Yeah.
no, I don't like it.
Oh man, that is
I
that
had
is
I had
fucking
one of my
hilarious.
sons with me too, and he ate like 2 plates, and I was like, damn, you liked it? He's like, hell no, that shit was super nasty, but I was starving. I was like, I guess so. You had to be extra hungry because I couldn't even take 2 bites. You ate 2 plates.
Mm.
That's
And-
wild.
oh man, I've gotten to a point now to where if I see a person making it and everything, it changes what I'm going to do. And I'm very respectful, but I have to like I may be sitting down somewhere, but I have to go in and see what you're doing, right? Because if it starts to take on a different shape than when it first started off there, before the food is even done, I'm like, hey man, I gotta go. But I'll get with you, right? You know what I'm saying? And I'll just take off because look, I'm going to the next Wendy's and everything. I'm going to get me a double stack with some bacon on it, large fry, and
I
a
mean,
drink.
I do my best not to be like that harsh, but there's a part of me that just I don't really have too much of a filter, and that's why I said to you earlier before we came on the show, you know, I'm probably going to say some things, and it's not because I have any intention on being disrespectful to you, your show, or to anybody. It's just how I talk, you know.
Yeah. And you know,
I mean, I
and
know how to articulate myself quite well. You know what I
right.
mean? I make no mistake about it. I'm not a stupid man, and I just, you know, sometimes when I speak, I the words just come out how I'm feeling or what I'm thinking at that moment. It's not that I don't give thought to what I'm saying, or I don't have other words to articulate it. It's just how it comes out sometimes.
Right. And that's what I told you. I said, don't worry about that, right? My audience, they look for the rawness in our conversations and things like that, right? You know, because for one, this is about you. It's about your journey. There's so many people out there that can relate to the things that we talk about, and they're not trying to hear the sugar-coated part of it. Because when it comes down to grief, trauma, addiction, mental health, and things like that, you got to throw a fuck you in there. You got to be like, I'm not fucking all right. You know what I'm
I
saying?
say it
Like
all
this,
the time.
right? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm in the pits of hell right now, and I'm drowning. I'm drowning in freaking, you know, this, that, another. So you know, it's the rawness of it, man. Like
Some
people can
people need
relate to that.
some people need a business card, and other people need a billboard.
There you go. There you go. And it all depends on the individual and what you're going through at that moment, right? You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about a little bit of the grief that you've had to endure in your life as well. And how did you eventually learn how to navigate through that?
Man, I am not gonna lie to you, man. I am still working on that. That is probably I'm not even gonna say probably. That is one of the hardest things that I'm learning to deal with right now. I've lost my brother in '96, my only brother. Lost my mother in 2019. I've never met my actual father, but and then I've just had friends, uh, too many to count, that have gotten murdered or have died. Just living here in Chicago, the amount of people that I've met that have gotten murdered literally at my doorstep, um, multiple people, and I was it's a lot, and learning how to deal with that, because like there isn't a day that goes by that I don't think about people, like my mother and my brother and friends that have passed, and it bothers me. Bothers me horribly. But I don't know. I hate the term, oh, they're in a better place. I hate that. And I also hate when someone's, well, not hate. Hate's a strong word. Um, I don't like it when somebody says I understand, or if you need anything, because really, do you really understand? I don't think so. And that's not me being like like I'm special or anything, but you know, one man's trash is another man's kingdom.
Right,
Uh,
right.
you may my journey in my life, as bad as it may be, Tony, you may walk through it like, what? This is what you're crying about, and I might walk through yours thinking that, you know, that, wait a minute, this dude's been through a lot when it was less than mine or whatever. You know what I mean? So I don't know or judge anybody's journey, but I don't like when people say stuff like that, because you don't, you know, unless you sit down and really talk to me and really understand how my mind works and what I'm going through. I appreciate it, but I don't like it.
Yeah.
Because I'm still learning to deal with it. I'm still learning to deal with it. And I guess that's part of it, that
It
I'm
is.
still learning to deal with it, you
It
know?
is. And you know, the one thing that I've learned, my brother, is that, you know, all of our journeys that we're on is part of who we are.
Yeah.
And we don't have any right to take away from what somebody else do. You know what I'm saying? I don't like the comparison aspect of it. I
Right.
really honestly
I
don't.
feel your
Because
pain. Do you?
yeah, you know, like who am I to say that what I went through was worse than what you went through? I don't have no right to do that. And I'm not going to. For the
You know,
simple
I
fact
had
of,
uh
it's your truth.
right.
It's your
Yesterday,
truth.
well, not yesterday, Sunday, before I did the check-in, which had part of the reason why I just felt like it should have been a check-in. So I was online and I was going through something, and for
Mm-hmm.
whatever reason, I decided to look up this certain gang in this area, in an area in Chicago we used to live in, and a picture of someone showed popped up, and it was a kid that I had met. They had he got murdered, but I had a really nice relationship with this kid, and he was a gangbanger. I knew he was a gangbanger. He was young. He was in high school, and we lived in this neighborhood in the the middle of this war zone. My kids were really little. This was 2010, I want to say, and I had a studio in my basement, and I used to let them come in and teaching them music and stuff like that. And they had never been to a show like like they've been to concerts, but never like a hip hop show. And
Right.
I know a lot of people, so I was like, this one day, I was like, I'm taking all you guys to a show tonight. And there was like four of them, four. They were all like in high school and shit. And I said, all you need is your ID. Don't worry, I'll make sure you guys get in because they weren't 21, but I was going to be able to get them in, uh, just to experience like an open mic and real MCs and all of this. So they were all on the stoop of my building, my house, and I told them, don't go get your IDs and nothing. If you don't have them, wait till we get in the car when we get ready to go, and I'll take you to your house. You go in, grab your ID, and then we'll leave. Well, there was two of them that decided not to wait, and so they're still outside. I'm in the studio, and there was a window to the studio, so I'm in there, and I was having somebody was listening to some music, some tracks that I was working on or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and they came to the window screaming, "They shot Goliath! They shot Goliath!" And I was like, "What?" Because I didn't hear because of the loudness of the music. So we
Mm-hmm.
ran out, and about 100 yards away from my house, this kid, and he was graduating high school that year, and I had made him a promise that I was going to take him to the Nike outlet, not the Nike outlet, but Nike World, and let him get two pairs of shoes that whatever he wanted. And that day, he had told me that he was graduating because I told him, if you graduate, that's what I'll do for you. And he had told me that day, I'm graduating, fool. You owe me. You owe me. I said, bring the diploma, and then we'll, you know what I'm saying? We'll talk.
Yeah, yeah.
And I go out there, I run outside, and there he is. He's on the ground. Everybody's screaming around him. And he had got shot in the head and shot in the back. He got shot 5 times, once in the head and 4 times in the back. And I'm holding this kid, man, and he's like, and I'm yelling at people to stop fucking crying and yelling and shit. Somebody get on the phone. Somebody call his mother. Somebody call 911. You know what I mean? And I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking to him, and I'm telling him to hang in there, hang in there, hang in there. And this kid died in my fucking arms, and that 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 I've never had anybody die in my arms like that, and that fucked me up. Not only did it fuck me up, it made me think about other people that I've known that had passed. Um, my mom hadn't passed at that moment, but my brother had passed in '96, and he was in a car accident where the police were in a high-speed chase with somebody. He was going through a green light, and the police and the perpetrator that they were chasing ran into his car and killed him instantly. But all of these things came rushing back as I'm sitting there holding this kid, and I'm yelling at everybody. Yeah, man, it's wild. And his mom came anyways. I said all that to say that kind of like changed my trajectory as far as the show went that night. But damn, I forgot what I was gonna say. It took me back there for a second.
Oh,
My
man, I
apologies.
appreciate that.
But that was hard, man. That was hard, and like I don't know about grief. I don't know. I know what I deal with. I know what I breathe. every day.
Yeah.
I breathe. I don't breeze through it. I breathe through it. And I give myself some grace, man. And I tell myself I'm about to tear up. Shit.
It's all good, man. It's all good. This is a safe space to
Yeah.
be able to do that. This is your truth. So,
I
you know what I'm saying? And I'm sure everybody out there that's listening, everybody who's on Instagram right now, LinkedIn, people who've been tuning in, I want to say thank you guys for tuning in. If you have any questions or comments, put them in the comment section. But I think they all understand because we all have a truth, right? And if that's what needs to happen, and you need to tear up, man. You know what I'm saying? You tear up. You do you,
I'm
you do
good. I'm
you.
good.
This is your show. It's your show today. You know what
But
I'm saying?
yeah, it's grief is something that I don't think, and I'm so gracious and honored to have fostered this relationship with you, because it's not something that I really ever really truly ever really looked at.
Right.
I know what it is, but I never looked at it. If that makes any sense. And
Right.
I never understood how it was affecting me and affecting my behavior and affecting the how I behaved around people. Not to mention all the other shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Grieving someone is I don't know. It's like a beautiful thing and a horrible thing.
Well,
You know what
and
I'm
again,
saying?
this is your truth, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, if I may, if I just may, I'm not taking anything away from what you said. I'm just going to use something that a truth of mine that came up with. It may make sense. It may not make sense. I don't know. But there's a truth about grief that I've always began to understand um, that it's honest. Grief is honest, right? It's the emotions that that you may or may not express.
Right.
Right? You know what I'm saying? It's everything that you've tried to hide, being revealed in those different moments. And what I mean by that, like those different memories are those different moments that you've navigated through your life.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? It's everything that you never told anyone.
Mm-hmm.
So every memory that you've ever experienced in those times, when that person is gone, that's the things that you never said to them. And it may be the things that you have said to them being brought back up to reveal to you that, hey, this was something that happened. It was real. And it's okay
Oh
to
yeah.
honor it.
Yeah.
It's okay to honor that.
That's amazing that you said that, because in talking to this gentleman last night that I was speaking on earlier, we had spoke about my mother for a brief moment, and I had said to him, my mother lives in my heart and in my soul every day.
Right.
You know what I mean? For all the bad things, there were things that my mother taught me that life, like just even the bullshit and everything else, could have never taught me. You know what I mean? My mom, who is the one who instilled the integrity that I do have in me. My mom is the one who made sure that like all of us, her children, were capable of articulating ourselves
Mhm.
perfectly. Being able to have uh, communication skills and critical thinking.
Right.
That was my mom's doing. You know, my
Yeah.
mom, even though in all of her worst shit, she did instill empathy and compassion in us. He didn't give us much empathy or compassion, but she taught us how to give it to other people.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because people used to always be like, "Your mom is so amazing," and we'd be looking at them. I don't know who the hell you're talking about, because it sure in the fuck ain't my mom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because she didn't show us that, but she didn't give us that, but she showed that to us. She
Right.
showed us how to be empathetic, and how to be kind, and how to have compassion for people, and how to be graceful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for that, I'm forever indebted. And I use those very things teaching my children now. You know, and
Yeah.
shit, my mom lives in my heart and my soul, and she'll forever be there. And
No,
in turn, damn, tearing up again. Damn it, Tony.
Man, this is what happens. I told you it was going to happen. And so you didn't have to believe me. Okay. I told you it was going to happen.
You're good. But in turn, my mother is going to live in my children. You know,
Right.
I talk to them a lot about things, and like, they had the opportunity of meeting my mother before she passed and spending time with her and understanding, oh, that's why he does that. You know what I mean? Oh, that's why he talks that way, or that's why he makes us go look up words, and or he gets upset when we talk ghetto, quote unquote, air quotes.
But man, I want to say thank you for being showing that side of that vulnerability, right? You know what I'm saying? Because I love the fact that you're being honest and you're like, dude, this is bringing up those emotions. It shows a different side that we as men try to hide from a lot of people, and this shows that this shows other people that, hey, we're fucking human, man.
Yeah, without a doubt.
We're fucking human. Like I was telling someone, and it's something that I had to learn too. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm not just saying anything out of the side of my neck. When I used to deny myself, or people used to deny wanting to hear what I had to say, and things like that, um, I learned how to survive relationships. I learned how to handle people, and things like that. And when I got to a certain point in my journey, I was teaching or mentoring some of the women, and I was going, if a man consistently have to be hard all the time around you and not feel comfortable in being vulnerable with you, he would learn how to not only survive that relationship, but he will begin to handle you. He will no longer be in a position to care for you the way that you want to, but he will begin to handle you until he can figure out how to exit said relationship.
Right.
And I tell people, when you're in a position like that, that man's world has changed. So does the trust that you have to earn with them.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter the relationship that you've had with them. You again have to go back in and learn how to earn that trust with them.
Right.
Because it's a whole different set of variables that have now presented himself that may or may not bring up past situations where he was taught to not be vulnerable, to learn how to survive in order to get through those moments, in order to get through those days and things like that, right? And we both have been that way. Look, I speak from experience when I say this. I still have trouble with trusting people with the vulnerable things in that go on in my heart, but I'm getting better at it, right? You know what I'm saying? And there are people out there who have earned that trust with me, but also it's me allowing myself to be able to trust those individuals, because when you give me a reason not to trust you, you'll never get another word out of me ever again. And that's what, and it's such a vulnerable thing. But I am blessed to be in the field to where I've learned how to, I'm learning how not to judge people just off the bat, but be patient with them, to not allow myself to have an emotional outburst every time that someone says something to me that I may or may not agree with.
Well, that's the biggest part of it. Like, is learning how to be patient, and knowing that other people are learning you right now as you're learning yourself. You know what I mean?
Right.
I've had to sit back and take a seat, because not just my family but my friends are learning who I truly am. Not that they didn't, not that they don't know me, but they don't know this side of me. They've had glimpses of this person, but this person was very, very well guarded and protected because of all the hurt and pain in life that not very many people seen this side. So when he showed his face, it was like, oh snap. And now that this face is every day, there's a lot of things that I have to learn, and there's a lot of things that they have to learn about me. And I have to be patient with them learning me.
Yes.
You know, like I was telling someone the other day, we were talking about something, and I said, you know, I was very reactive back in the day. You got out of pocket with me. You got, for those that don't know what out of pocket is, if you got a smart mouth with me or something, got a little jazzy at the lips, there would quite possibly be some consequences to those words. And I've not only learned, but I've taken a big, huge step back from that, being reactive, to, like, you know, in the beginning, my thought was like, look at the person and I go, okay, I know where I'm going to go with this, and I know how far I'm willing to take it. I don't think this person is ready to go that far, you know, and then take a step back and, like, you're a funny guy. Pat him on the shoulders. I'm your funny guy, and then walk off. You know, just leave it at that. You know what I mean? But because of a lot of my past, I have to learn that I do have a stop button. You know what I'm saying? I do have a go sit your ass down button. Go sit your ass down, Heat. Go sit your ass down, Jorge. Go sit down somewhere. Breathe on this one. You know, before I didn't have the stop button or the sit down button, the patience button. And a lot of people have to learn that one about me, because they immediately think I'm going to go off the deep end about something. And, you know, I'm really look at things of what's important to me. And really what's important to me is other people.
Right. Right. Exactly.
How I behave and how I interact, and the relationships that I foster with people. You know, that's what's really important to me. But beyond that, like, if I'm really being honest, all of that is more important for me. Me. Me.
Yeah.
That's to a lot of people hearing that, that may sound selfish as all hell. But I can't do shit for another motherfucker if I cannot do shit for myself. If I cannot love me, I can't possibly love somebody else. If I can't respect me, I cannot possibly respect somebody else. Not truly. You know what I mean? I got to love me. I got to learn how to give myself grace before I can give somebody else grace. I have to respect myself before I can respect somebody else. And I stand on those things to this day now. Like, man, if a person is being disrespectful, I'm going to do my best to talk to them about it. But if I can't talk to them about it, then I have to remove myself from their presence. I am I'm a very good guardian of my energy nowadays. You know what I mean? I have to protect my energy, because the transference of energy is a real thing. And I have to protect my energy. And my energy is my peace, my sanctity, my sanity, my happiness, my love. And I have to protect that at all costs.
Yeah.
Because I'm willing to give it. I'm willing to give it. But I it's not that I expect it in return, but if you can't give that to me in return, I can't be in your presence.
You know, I want to touch on that a little bit too, right? And it's
that's just me, by the way. I don't
know. No, I definitely understand. I was going to say that. I was definitely going to say that, because in a lot of ways, I guess for me, it's like a 70-30 type of thing, and it depends on the situation that I'm in, and everything. I chose to, you know, well, actually, this work chose me. I didn't ever choose this work. This work reached out to me and was like, I got you, right? And it's giving me something that I will always be grateful for, always. And so, you know, when it comes down to people's energies and things like that, I've learned to protect my energy, but to also read other people's energy as well. As men, we're so good at safeguarding ourselves that, you know what I'm saying, that sometimes, you know, things can come off wrong and the energy may not be what you're reading, right? But you know what I'm saying? Because we're really good at second guessing our trauma responses, the PTSD that we may have gone through. You know what I'm saying? We're so good at criticizing other people for what we see instead of for what what's actually going on underneath the surface. And I tell people this, and it's something that I started thinking before you judge someone because you see them out there struggling with addiction. Ask yourself, how did they get there? If you
Right.
see someone struggling with anger and things like that, instead of judging them and saying there's something wrong, because you're right on point when you're saying something wrong, but why not ask them, is everything okay? Is there something that would you like to just sit down somewhere?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm good. Listen, I'm good with all that.
Right,
I'm 100% good with all that. Like I will throw myself in the fire, but I ain't gonna stick around to get burnt.
No, I definitely, and that's where the work that I do. Sometimes I have to step in the fire with them to get burned, right?
Right.
Because it may be a requirement. I may just have to go in there with you to let you know that I'm rocking with you, right?
Right.
I'm a man of my word. I said that I'm not going to leave you, and I'm a man of my word. I won't
100%.
stand
But
in
if
the
I'm gonna
flames with you.
if I'm tugging and pulling on you to get the hell up out this fire,
Right,
and you're not
right.
responding, I'm not gonna go. You know what I mean? I'm not going
Yeah,
down
no,
with the
no.
ship.
And again, that's there's a difference. Like it was a commitment for me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was just something that I said, hey, no matter what it takes from me, if I have to stand here with you, I will. Right? You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to leave you there, and then at the last minute, you may need me. So I might as well stay here in this hotness with you. You know what I'm saying? And at least, if anything, I can at least give you some of my strength so you can be able to climb up out of it.
Well, let me
You know, and,
let me
and again,
piggyback
that's
off
just
that real
me.
quick. Let me
Yeah,
piggyback off that real quick
yeah.
because I have friends. I've literally cut off damn near everybody over the last few years. But what I have not cut off is my damn phone. And then
Mm,
when they call me, I do answer.
right,
And when
right.
they need me to listen, I will listen. And when they need advice or they ask me for advice, ask me. I don't just throw it out there because people don't want to be here. They didn't call for that. And if they
Mm,
ask for advice, I give them the blunt truth. The truth is I've never left. I'm here. And I'm gonna tell you the same thing that I told you before. If you're still sitting in that shit, I'm gonna tell you the same thing.
right,
If
right.
you need my help, I'm here. But I'm not gonna dilly dally around with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I told someone before, like I had to cut them off, and I told him because he brings nothing to the table, and he was like, "I don't understand what you mean by that." I said, "No, clearly you don't, because I'm not talking about anything monetarily. I don't want anything from you, but you don't even bring anything to the table for yourself. You don't bring anything to the table for me. You don't bring anything helpful. You're not bringing. You're taking, 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 taking." And I love the hell out of you, but I'm gonna love you from right here, and you're gonna be over there.
Right,
But I'll be right here if you need me. And when you're ready, I'm here.
right.
When you're ready, my phone is always on. I will answer your call. I will do what I can for you. But ultimately, these decisions they lay upon you. They lay in your lap, sir. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But until then, because not that he had addiction problems and things, this person that I'm talking about had addiction problems and things, and there was some inappropriate things that he did in my house. And so for me, that was a line crosser. You know what I mean? And in order to be even within my presence or within any people that I love and care about, no, we got to see some action, sir.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
got to see some action because I don't even trust myself to see you face to face right now. You know what I mean?
Man.
So
You know, I'm a segue off of that because we've talked about the challenges that come along with it. You know what I'm saying? And you still, like being married now and things like that. And we've talked about this, you know what I'm saying? Like, do you still find it a challenge that people look at you, you know what I'm saying, and see the person that you become without the experience of who you used to be? And do
man,
you
I
find
get
yourself
judged
kind of that?
every day,
Right, right. Okay.
every day. And I don't get judged by me today. I get judged by me from the last fuck, man, I don't know how many years. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And to me, that's a horrible thing. And even when they say, no, I see your growth, and I just go, do you really? Do you really? Because if you really saw me, you wouldn't be talking about something that I've not only apologized, because I hold like sorry and apology in two different lanes.
Right.
Okay, so to me, sorry is lip service, right? An apology has action behind it.
Right.
And so when I give you an apology and I tell you that I deeply apologize for what I've done or from what I've said, I'm not just saying that. I'm not giving you lip service. I'm putting action behind it. I'm showing you that I am truly sorry. That it hurts me that I've done this to you, and I'm putting action behind it by being aware, by not triggering you, by talking, by communicating, all of these things. So don't tell me you see me. You see my growth, because if you really seen it, you'd understand it. You know, I just don't have a lot of gray areas. You know, as much as I work on things, a lot of times I find a lot of stumbling blocks within my journey, but I still go forward. I do my best every day when I put my foot down, waking up in the morning, no matter how bad the day was before, it's my choice to make this day better than yesterday.
Right.
And I'm going to do everything within my power to do that.
Right.
And that is how I treat people, how I interact with people, and how I behave. You know what I'm saying? So there's challenges within that every day with people judging me from my past. That's why I like that the little quote that I had sent to you that I came up with during this whole journey is that you can't kidnap, you can't hold the past hostage while trying to kidnap the future. You know what I'm saying? You can't hold me at this standard from back there and then trying to tell me what my moves are going to be right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That guy does not exist any longer back there. That guy's in the rearview mirror. It's like driving a car. If I stare at the rearview mirror, I'm going to crash. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to crash. I can't look behind me all the damn time. I can't live in that dude's shoes. I refuse to live in that dude's shoes anymore. That dude doesn't exist. You know what I'm saying? Some of his attitudes still exist. You know what I mean?
Hey, man, I think that's the beautiful part about it, right? Is because although these individuals, these individuals that we were, they don't exist right now because they have no place in where we are right now. We've got older, we've grown up, we've matured. You know what I'm saying? Some of us have families and things like that, but we all want something different from what we used to have. And so that to me is the definition of a good man, because a good man has been through hell and back, and has faced the darkest moments or the darkest parts of himself and learned how to control it. And now sits in today's world with the capability of being able to do it, but choosing not to.
Right.
But if you need to, it is there.
Yeah,
it is there, and people don't understand the darkness that we've had to overcome in order to be who we are right now, to be the protector that we are for these individuals. And it's a good thing that they don't know, because if they did, they would probably run from us.
They'd probably run for the hills. Yeah,
100%.
Yeah. But
yeah, so
when I look at my past right now, man, I grieve that dude. I mean, like in a weird way, like that person is dead to me. Like when I tell people about me drinking right now, I'm in such a, like, first of all, like I said earlier, it wasn't shit for me to quit drinking. The real issue was not the drinking. It was this stuff here.
Yeah, the mental.
It wasn't the drinking. I got a hell of a constitution. It wasn't the drinking. I poured that drink out and I never looked back.
Yeah.
I don't drool at the mouth when I see alcohol. I don't think about, man, I should take a drink. I don't, oh, I'm feeling bad. I feel like I should get drunk. I don't think about those things. When I have issue that probably led me to drink, there's a whole different shit now, because the drinking was just the self-medicating. I don't self-medicate. So I got to use other tools to calm that savage beast, or to calm those stresses, those nerves, those feelings of insecurity, those abandonment issues, those abuse issues, verbal, physical. Man, it is a lot.
Right.
But I manage, because that's all I can do is manage. Because I don't know what's going to pop up tomorrow. I don't know when I get done with this, I may start thinking about something, and I have to learn how to redirect my thinking and understand where I'm at today, right now, this moment. George, Heatdetector, Heat, whatever you want to call me, I have to learn to be present in this moment.
Yeah.
And that's all I can do. I've come to that right now. Like, even with dealing with people, I'm present. I'm in the moment. And I'm going to give you the best of me in this. Damn it. I'm going to give you the best of me in this moment. Because that's all I can do. Because if I do any more than that, I'm fucked. So that's all. That's it. And that's not a bad thing, because I am giving you the best that I have.
Yeah.
In this moment. Damn it.
Hey man, this is hey man. Everybody, you know, like this is what it looks like when men are being vulnerable or open to you guys and things like that. And you know, big shout out to my brother, man. Big shout out to Heat and any other man out there that's willing to come out and be vulnerable.
See,
like
that response,
there's
man,
no
this is what I
shame
don't like.
to it.
Tone, this is what I don't like. That is a taught response for me to get upset about showing vulnerability.
Right.
That is a taught response. And that's one of the things I struggle with. I shouldn't be upset. I shouldn't feel ashamed.
No, and that's, look, man, you amongst people who are supporting you, so you don't have to apologize.
No, I'm saying I'm not apologizing. I'm saying that is the taught response. I struggle with the taught response. Because my initial reaction, in my mind, I was about to slap this mic out of my face and be like, fuck it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That is a taught response. You know, and as I sat back for a second, I'm like, God damn it. I shouldn't have to feel ashamed. And I'm not saying that you or anyone that's watching or anything is giving that or projecting that to me. That is a taught fucking response. And this is one of the things that I fight with all the time. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a person that, like, you have to excuse me sometimes, because when I'm saying things, I have to verbally hear myself say it. So when I'm saying it's a taught response, I'm also reminding myself, you know what I'm saying, that this is a taught response. This is, you know, you're okay.
Right.
You know, some of us have to verbalize it. Some of us internalize it. I've learned to verbalize what I'm thinking at times. You know what I'm saying? Because I have to hear me say it, if that makes any sense.
No, it makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense because of the simple fact of, man, look at, dude, we've been talking about some deep embedded things, like you sharing parts of you that you know, saying that are still open and healing and things like that. And the platform, this is what it's for. It's your story. It's your truth. So you tell it the way that you need to. If you need to go on that roller coaster ride, man, like, no, as long as you know that we're here with you.
Yeah.
No,
hey, trust me, I understand the process. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I understand it. I may not look like it, act like it, but I understand it. And I know, like, it maybe for some people watching, that's why I went to, like, explain it. You know, I literally do that. I was talking to my wife, and we had like a she says an argument. I called it a debate. It was a debate. You know what I'm saying? That's all it was. She had an opinion about something. I had an opinion about something, and we didn't see it eye to eye, which is okay. She didn't see it as okay. But, you know, needless to say that I had blurted out, I'm a good fucking person. And she looked at me and was like, what are you talking about? And I said, I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to my damn self. She said, what do you mean? I was like, well, because I have to say that. I have to say that for me. Because in that moment, I was about to say some real reckless shit. So I had to
Yeah,
I had
you
to
had to
reel myself
remind
in
yourself.
and
Yeah,
remind
you had to
myself that I'm
remind
a good
yourself.
person. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? What I was getting ready to say was going to be completely unnecessary. You know what I mean? But I
I
had to blurt it
understand.
out. Like it's
Yeah, no,
crazy as that
I
may sound.
totally understand.
As crazy
You
as that
know,
may sound, I had to blurt that shit out just to like, hey,
man,
Jorge.
I would tell you the energy coming from through this screen right now with the people that are just sitting back right now. I can feel you guys over here like, damn, like going on this journey with heat, and the vulnerability. I know some of you out there can definitely feel it down deep in your souls. You know what I'm saying? And if you're out there crying, you know, brothers and sisters, like it's okay.
Yeah.
You're human. This is the place to that we actually want you to be able to do that, to get that out. But also, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't be afraid to tell your truth in this.
Yeah.
Have conversations about what's going on with you, but have conversations with people who will not only hold space with you, but respect your truth and your journey without interruption, without judgment,
We had that
without
the other night.
right. So you know what I'm saying? Like we had that on there, and we could talk about that, or you guys can go back and just check out the podcast. You know what I'm saying? Unwrapped podcast, the podcast on YouTube. We
It's called
did
the
check
check-in.
in.
That particular show is called the check-in. Yeah.
It's called a check-in. So you know what I'm saying with Quelo. Now I will mind you, I'm gonna give you a heads. I'm gonna give you a pre-warning. In the beginning, it sounds like it's something that is not. Now hold on to it because then everything begins to make sense. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I'm saying? And you may feel tempted to want to say something and things like that, because I know a lot of the people out here, y'all care about me and things like that. Hell, I was almost that way too. Okay. I really was. And I think he was too, right? You know what I'm saying? But we sat down and you got to remember it's called the check-in for a reason.
Yeah. That
You know what
man
I'm saying?
needed to check in.
Yeah, that man needed to check in. And now that's the other part. You're talking about men. So, you know what I'm saying? I had to tell Heat today when I was talking to him, hey man, when you talk to that man again, you tell him I apologize because I almost didn't let him speak his truth because I almost made the mistake of judging him by allowing my emotions to take control because I didn't understand.
Right.
Okay. But when it all came down to it, man, it was a beautiful show. The man got to talk, he got to tell his truth. And then I got to see the other side of him and be like, shit, man. That's what it's all about. So it is called a check-in. And I know we look, people, we're still doing our damn thing out here. And so as we begin to wrap this up and everything, I just want to remind everybody, you know what I'm saying, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, you know what I'm saying, out there on Rumble, Twitter, Twitch, all you different platforms that we're streaming across right now. You know what I'm saying? I want to say thank you guys for tuning in, and just going with us on this journey, right? But most importantly, I want to say, man, you know what I'm saying, give a huge shout out to my man, the Heatdetector, and everything. And go check out his stuff. But if, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna let him give you the information on it and things like that because he got some more stuff that he got coming up. He got a show that he's doing. Like I said, my man is in the hip hop industry. He's deep off into it. He's producing. He got some people out there that's out there doing some amazing things. But you guys will also be able to see not only his podcast, but he's bringing in some live music for the conference and everything in April.
Right.
So and everything is live streamed, so you guys can be able to tune in and that. So we got hip hop. We got a few other things. He got his podcast. He's going to be closing out every night with a different show and things like that. So be sure to tune in on that, as well as we got the live comedy coming as well. We got everything is live streamed. We got the workshops. We got grief workers, practitioners, trauma informed coaches. We got therapists. We got psychiatrists. We got podcasters. We got it all coming in for you. So be sure to tune in. If you haven't already, go to the YouTube channel. You will see the links up there. Just go ahead and you know what I'm saying, just subscribe to the channel so you guys won't miss it. But we got some more episodes and stuff coming up and things like that. Now, Heat, you're about to do a show a nice show too. Tell people about that.
I have a show coming up here December 28th at the 1213 Art Center in Chicago on West 63rd. You find yourself in Chicago, come and check us out. I have about 14 amazing artists that are going to be performing. Some legends here in the city. Just a phenomenal show. I'm really proud of that I put together along with my team on Unwrap. It's going to be dope. It's going to be super dope. Positive energy, good music. It's just going to be amazing, man, and I'm excited about that. One of the reasons why I'm extremely excited about it is I've been a part of a lot of shows and a lot of ventures, but this is the first time I'm actually doing something single-handedly, bringing in the artists handpicked by myself and putting the show together myself the way I see fit. And I'm extremely proud of that, and I'm extremely proud of my team that helped me put it together. And that's December. It's called Unwrap, and it's Unwrap presents Spilled Bars.
Okay,
it's dope. It's gonna be super dope. If there was a way I could show you the thing, I would. But yeah, never mind.
Well, if you send it to me, like tag me in it, I'll share it across the platform so people know things like that. But now tell people about the multiple podcasts that you got going on, you know what I'm saying, throughout the week and on the weekends, and what those are all about and where they can find it.
Okay. First and foremost, man, I want to thank you so much for having me on your show, man. I appreciate it so much. We've been talking about me being on there for a minute and finally got it facilitated and made it happen. But you can find me on Instagram, Unwrap, UNRAP. Also Heatdetector. If you look up Heatdetector on Instagram, it'll come up. Unwrap as well, and that's on all platforms except for YouTube. YouTube, it's Unwrap at Unwrap on YouTube, and that's the channel. On Facebook, it's Unwrap the podcast, I believe, or Unwrap Heatdetector. One of the Either way, if you type in Heatdetector, you're gonna find Unwrap. But most of them all are Unwrap. The YouTube channel is the one we're really working on. It's at Unwrap, UNRAP. If you just search that, you'll find it. We have multiple shows. We got a new show that we're starting with Shadow Master and Annihilation. They were the hosts for the longest running open mic hip hop show in the world. They are now going to be doing a podcast on my channel called Mic Drop. They're going to be it's going to be on every other Wednesday, I believe, that we've come to. I just did the flyer for it today. But it's a show they're going to showcase music from around the world and create these top 10 charts of amazing artists that are that they can find that are doing everything they can to get in the industry. Also, too, that's going to be on every other Wednesday. On Monday, we have Whoop De Whoop Sports, which is a sports podcast show that my sons do. Now, listen, if you don't smoke weed, don't watch this show. These dudes smoke weed and they talk about sports. Period. It's a no holds barred sports show. That's on Monday. On Tuesday, we have another show that I'm proud of called The Trust Tree, and that is my co-host for the show on Friday, the Nash Vino. She interviews people in normal life and let them talk about their extraordinary journey, because we all have these extraordinary journeys, and we allow people to just come sit down on the couch and just talk about their life, in a safe place. That's on Tuesdays. And by the way, all of these shows are on at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, but they're all up there too as well. So you can catch us live and be a part of it and interact with us, or you can go back and watch them on the YouTube channel and on Facebook. That's on Tuesdays. On Wednesdays, obviously, we're going to be doing the drop the mic or mic drop. I'm sorry. Do we have anything on Thursdays? Oh, no, I record on Thursdays. Sorry. Okay. Friday, we have Unwrap the Podcast. That's my show, interviewing artists, MCs, and stuff. Some famous, some infamous, from around the United States. and here in Chicago. On Saturdays, we have Can I Kick It, which is a cannabis show where they say things and talk about being high and the questions and the things that people talk about when they're high, which is insane. I don't smoke. I don't smoke weed, but I produce that show. I produce a lot of the shows, and I sit back and I just laugh at the things that these dudes talk about. It's insane. It's a great show. It's hosted by Swag God, the engineer, and on Sundays is the check-in, and that's my men's mental health show. That's a show that I'm very proud of. A show that if everything else wasn't happening, I wouldn't care. I would still do the check-in. I'm do the check-in every Sunday at 8:30. All of the shows are at 8:30.
Yeah.
Booyakasha. There you go.
And I love that. You guys, go check out his channel. Give him a subscribe. Tell him that Tony sent you. This episode is going to be up there. So if you're just now tuning in and things like that, or just caught the last part of it, go back and check it out. You guys
I just say that my channel ain't for everybody. It ain't for everybody. There are things on there that you may like. So, hit the like, hit the subscribe. But
we let them decide on that one. All right. You know what I'm saying? We let them go in and do their research. Let them decide on it. Right. I have been on this show a few times. And will continue being on this show, right? You know what I'm saying? You guys may actually see him on my show a few times as well. But most importantly, you guys, if you guys made it this long, you haven't already, you guys already know what to do. Head on over to their YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification, so you'll be notified every time that we drop a new episode. All right. And also, I appreciate this subscribe. It helps us get into the algorithm to get out there a little bit more. But if it's not for you, and you know somebody that this could benefit, please share it along with them and things like that. I definitely appreciate that. I appreciate your support as always. But show the love. Go show the love to my man Heat, and to a lot of other people out there. You guys already know the show serves a bigger purpose than just the conversations. These are people that you can actually reach out to. All right. So please, take that into consideration and take advantage of these opportunities and things like that. Other than that, before I let you go, Heat, man, if you can leave the audience with something, what would you leave them with?
If I can leave them with something, what would I leave them with? Give yourself grace. Give yourself some grace. Give yourself some grace and breathe and be in the moment. Stay in the moment. Be present. Be present in the moment. Give yourself grace and breathe. It'll be all right. It'll be all right.
Most definitely. And I would like to say, man, I heard this quote from Theo Vaughn, and the quote went, "Nothing changes unless nothing changes."
Mm-hmm.
Right? You know what I'm saying? So you guys take that, dig deeper into it, think about it, right? And be the change that you want to see out of here in this world. And know that there's people that's going to work with you or walk with you, that's going to support with you and want to connect with you. Networking is the key to the healing that we are looking for. So, if you're out there, do me a favor. If you're a grief worker and you're looking for a place to call home, we do have the Global Grief Network over here on Facebook. We got a lot of great things coming down the pike. Guys, go over there. You know what I'm saying? Tell her Tony sent you, introduce yourself. And most importantly, as we wrap this up, I want to say thank you, heartfelt thank you to not only my friend and my brother, the Heatdetector, man, but about the work that he's doing and still bringing music to the world, making people dance and clap and shake them things all over the place. You know what I'm saying? And I'm truly grateful for it. Not only his friendship, but his brotherhood, to have a place and do the work that he's doing out there. But everybody else out there as well, stay tuned. We got some more things coming. And with that being said, you guys, I want to say thank you. You guys have a great, amazing day. And remember, stay safe out here and have a happy holidays. If I don't see you, because I know a lot of you guys are going to be traveling, but we're still going to be doing our thing too. All right. So if you get a chance to, just tune in, say hi. But other than that, you guys keep it rocking, stay warm. And if you're in a warm place, stay cool. Peace. All right. We'll see you guys in the
Peace.
next one.
Thanks again, bro.
You're welcome, brother. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.